Welcome to the most in-depth, accurate, and academically sound video essay you'll ever see. Today we're discussing Kurt Vonnegut's novel. Now you're asking yourself, who's Kurt Vonnegut? Well, he's that guy right over there. He was born in 1922 in Indianapolis, and he lived to the age of 84. His work was very controversial because many of his novels had expressed socialist views and had anti-authoritarian themes. The controversy surrounding his work didn't really affect his career, though, because he went on to write 14 novels. He was very successful commercially, and he became a well-established American author. That's enough about the author. Let's talk about the book. Breakfast at Champions was a story of events that lead up to the meeting of Kilgore Trout and Dwayne Hoover, the meeting itself, and the immediate aftermath. There is a struggling science fiction writer who, after the fateful meeting, becomes successful in the Nobel Prize. Hoover is a wealthy businessman who is going insane, and is under the direct life of anxiety. Alright, so the whole point of the essay, verbal or otherwise, is to prove an argument. My argument is that Vonnegut uses characters to critique the quintessential flaws that are present in the human condition. The first argument in support of this is that Vonnegut uses the content of Kilgore's novels as satirical metaphors, which aid in his commentary on human society. We know this because the first of Kilgore's novels, revealed in The Breakfast of Champions, is called Plague on Wheels, and is a direct metaphor for the pollution issue that results from humankind's use of automobiles. I support this argument with the evidence that, with a quote, a dying planet named Lingo 3, whose inhabitants resemble American automobiles. They have wheels, they have fossil fuels, they work manufactured of there. Essentially what Vonnegut is trying to say through the short story is how we are destroying our source of natural resources and our atmosphere with our use of automobiles, and that we must be insane to do this. Vonnegut's use of Dwayne in this manner is most obvious when you look at the changes that occur in Dwayne over the course of the story. My second argument in support of that thesis is that Vonnegut uses Dwayne as a plot device to comment on the American dream. Because what happens to Dwayne in The Breakfast of Champions parallels Vonnegut's own opinions on the subject. Dwayne Hoover, at the beginning of the story, was the epitome of the American dream. This is shown through the quote, "Her heart beat faster when she waited on him, because Dwayne could solve so many of her problems with the money and power that he had." Dwayne lived the American dream. He started out with nothing and earned his wealth through hard work. He surpassed the lifestyle that his parents lived, and he was desired by women and worshipped by men. By all of society's standards, he had the perfect life, and all the facets of his existence should have been saturated. At the end of the story, Dwayne loses everything, his family, his wealth, even his sanity, which is symbolic of how far the American dream has fallen in modern times. Dwayne's fall is expressed in a quote, "He would be rendered destitute. He would become one more withered balloon of an old man on Midland City's skid row." Vonnegut chose this path for Dwayne in order to illustrate how the pursuit of the American dream leads to violence, despair, and destitution, more often, happiness, and to wealth. My third and final argument in support of the thesis is that Vonnegut uses minor characters to portray his commentary. The character of the pyramid truck driver is used by Vonnegut as a direct representation of a typical hardworking American man. Vonnegut uses him to portray a commentary on the middle class. This is supported with the quote, "Seems like the only kind of job an American gets these days is committing suicide in some way." This perfectly summarizes the sole purpose that the pyramid truck driver has in the novel. The truck driver represents how most things in modern society are self-destructive in some way, be it food, drugs, pollution, or even trafficking. I know you've been paying attention, but in case you're filled in some of the details, I'll go over everything I said again. Essentially, human nature and its numerous flaws are solely discussed by Vonnegut in the beginning of his characters. Vonnegut discusses the issues that plague human society through the content of Kurochev's novels. The numerous flaws evident in American society are discussed through Dwayne Hoover, who is the perfect portrayal of the American dream. And finally, the minor characters used in the novel each represent a distinct shortcoming of humankind. Every author hopes that above all else, their work will have an impact on a single reader, so that they will never be forgotten. This powerful, humorous nature that emanates from Vonnegut's writing has had a resounding impact on our society, and it will guarantee that he will never, ever be forgotten.